Welcome to this tutorial on how to use a Moxa stick. Before we go directly into the Moxa stick, I'd like to show you another type of Moxa that I have on hand. Moxa being short for moxibustion, which is dried mugwort leaf. So right now I have a big bag of dried mugwort leaf. It's very light and fluffy. You can take a little bit of this light and fluffy mugwort leaf, however much you want to use. You can press it till it makes kind of a clump and it becomes more solid, less light and fluffy. And then what you can do with that is light it on one end till it gets a nice ember and it'll burn all the way through. Once you have that going, or you can actually set it in the box before you burn it, you can stick it inside the Moxa box. Now this Moxa box is well used and well loved. What it is a box with several screens which are kind of close to the top. And then you can put the Moxa in there and you don't have to worry about the embers falling through because the screen will catch them. And then also, since it's so far away from the bottom of the box, you can actually place the box directly on different parts of your body. Your low back, it's really lovely for low back pain that's related to cold and energy deficiency. It's great for cold related menstrual pain. Well, I'm saying cold related because you wouldn't want to use this on someone who has hot menstrual pain because it can aggravate it. And that's why it's important to check with a trained professional before you decide to use Moxa, because it can aggravate conditions that are related to heat in Chinese medicine. So you want to make sure that you know what you're doing first, okay? Lovely product. I recommend everyone have one of these in their household. So now on to Moxa sticks. I'm just going to show you what I have on hand. Different sizes. This one, kind of small, looks a little bit like a long cigarette. Ew, cigarettes. This is kind of your typical Moxa size, and this is actually the typical grade of Moxa. If you see it in this kind of packaging, it's often rolled up this grade. I like to use the gold Moxa, which I'll show you. It's this kind of Moxa. I also have it in a very large stick if you have a lot of Moxa to do. But yeah, so I'm going to show you the gold Moxa because it lights really quickly. It's very easy to use. If you want to become a Moxa pro, you can have one of these snuffers. This is a pretty simple one, or they also have ones that have an ashtray with them, which is kind of important, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But the gold Moxa is really nice because when you light it, it lights up nice and quickly, where that other grade of Moxa tends to take a longer time to light. So you may want to use a candle in order to light it so that you're not holding a hot lighter for a long time. So this is lighting up nicely, and I can see it. I don't know if you can see in the video, but it's getting a nice red ember. Okay, yeah. So it's important to keep the Moxa stick dusted and free of this ash, because as you're doing the Moxa on your skin, if the ash falls onto you, it's going to burn you. So you want to monitor that. It's really important. You know, this is something that's on fire, it's burning, so you want to make sure that it's not going to hurt you. For ease, tonight we're going to do large intestine 4, which is probably one of the most famous acupuncture points in the world. It's one of the command points. It does many, many, many things, but I think famously it's known for headaches, constipation, that kind of thing. So it's right between, so this bone on your first finger, it's halfway up. It's between the thumb and the index finger. We'll just do there today. I'm going to ash my Moxa stick because it's getting a little ashy. Okay, and then you can do a few different techniques for using Moxa. Whatever feels good. I tend to like to just warm it up nicely, so circle around. Of course, you're doing this on yourself, probably, so you'll feel if it gets too hot. There's a different set of instructions for doing this on someone else, so I recommend that you don't try that unless you get trained. So yeah, you can also do this kind of pecking, which gets the heat sort of in quickly and then gives you a little break from the heat. but I tend to just do it this way. And how long you do it is up to you. I mean, yeah, it's up to you. It's up to the diagnosis. If you have any heat in your body, you don't want to do it for too long, depending on what's going on. So yes, I think that may also be something that you'll want to consult a professional about. But yeah, that's essentially it. It's not very hard. So remember, keep it ashed. And then in order to put it out, you can use the snuffer. I'm not sure how, they might not be that hard to come by on the internet. They're easy in acupuncture supply stores, but I'm not sure how easy they are outside of that. But I imagine it's not that hard. But if you don't want to do that, you can just use a glass jar with some dried grain. Now, Moxa stick is not going to tamp out like a cigarette. It will keep burning even if you think it's out. And that's dangerous. Of course, you don't want it to keep burning. So just use some dried grain, put it in there, let it sit. It'll snuff it out. You can even put a lid on it if you have enough space to, if it fits inside. But you don't have to do that because the dried grain will put it out. All right, well, that's how to use a Moxa stick in a nutshell. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me at charity@silktreehealing.com. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.